laptop or tablet at KFMA.com.
You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Monday, May 1st. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
It's going to be May. All right. Yes, we are kicking off a brand new month here. New month, new me. How you doing? It was a crazy weekend this weekend. Tucson was out in full force. We had the Dirty Heads on Friday at the Pima County Fair, which I was told it broke records as far as attendance is concerned.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it was a Friday night. It was the Dirty Heads. We jam-packed it out. That was fantastic. Great show. Did you stick around to the end?
No, we just stayed for a few songs because the boys had to go to bed.
Yeah. That was a bummer, man, because they definitely held it down. And, it was great all the way through. I even got so stoned that I was just like, what am I doing out here in the crowd? I could go all the way up to the front of the stage. And then I realized that the security wasn't stopping me doing anything. So I'm like, I'm just going to stand like right in front of them awkwardly. So I was getting stared at by the band. And then I just kind of moseyed my way back. In fact, actually, I was a little buzzed, right? Drinking margaritas and whatnot, and having a good time in the spirit of things. But I was like, I got to sit down real quick. So I was going to sit down on one of the cases. And I went to go sit on it, and it was not secure.
It wasn't stable.
It was essentially like a trap door. And next thing you know, I got my legs in the air like I'm a toddler on a toilet.
Good job.
Yeah, it was that kind of thing. And then on Saturday night, the Centurions threw their party, their Fast Times at Ridgemont High party with 38 Special headlining, and the Centurions know how to throw a party. 8,000 people showed up for that.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was overseeing the blackjack pit and doing that deed, hanging out with Mac and Powers. And, Mac was having beverages and spitting in my face and in a good way. He was super excited to see me outside of the work compound, which is cool. But yeah, it was great. It was great to see everybody out all weekend long and partying and celebrating. So shout out to everybody who went out and enjoyed themselves over the weekend. I'll tell you what, though, on the fair, for like a couple weeks, I was talking up the fair and I kept talking about fry bread, right?
Yeah.
You heard me talk about fry bread?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I was, reminiscing. It was nostalgia, eating fry bread at the swap meet. And I'm not going to go into all my, professed love for fry bread growing up. I've already documented that. But I was dead set on going to the fair and getting me some fry bread. That was all I really wanted to do. That and intro the Dirty Heads. So I go out there to do the remote, let people know where we're at. And then immediately after I'm done with my festivities, I beeline straight towards the fry bread. And I get my fry bread with beans, cheese, and just a little bit of salsa, right? So I'm keeping it plain, going old school.
Yes.
This is me at 10 years old. That's how I would eat my fry bread.
Right.
And I loved it. And it's been years since I've had it that way. So I was just like, yes. And in my mind, again, I'm romanticizing it. Like, I just want this so bad. And I got it perfect. I got it made perfect. I go over to the table. I'm sitting by myself and I'm in my, I'm just blissfully just in the moment.
Yes.
Right. Tearing off pieces, dipping it in the salsa, enjoying every little bite, savoring it, if you will. And it was fantastic. And then less than 15 minutes later, it completely liquefied my intestines. And so I had to break a 10-year-long streak of not having to go to the bathroom in a porta-john.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, kudos to the Pima County Fair staff and the porta-john companies that run it. Because, I was at the fair before it got busy, right when it opened.
Right.
So I was fortunate enough to find a porta-john that hadn't been used that much yet.
Right.
Right. So that's a good thing right off the bat. Because my friend Skyly, she actually just posted on a story that she had to go to the porta-john. She's a short girl. There's short girl problems, right? And she had to pee, but she could not sit down on the seat. It was just destroyed.
Yeah.
So she had to do the hover.
Oh, yes. That's My protocol in public bathrooms at all is the hover.
Yes, and a lot of women go for the hover or the squat, whatever the case. But if you're short, then you can't really hover. And she had a fail in doing that as well. But
no.
luckily, I was fortunate enough to do that. But I still didn't want to go to the bathroom in a porta john. Now it's 95 degrees at the end of April. It's very hot, so you go in there. It's like a hot box, and then luckily for me, I was working with Valdez, who's a big 300-pound dude. And big dudes who are like self-aware and have game always have wet wipes on them.
Yeah.
It's a fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So luckily, Valdez had a family-sized package of wet wipes. He was able to hand me a big old chunk.
He's like, I got you, bro.
Yeah. So after I pull my like Dumb and Dumber like explosion in the porta john, sweat just dripping down my face. I was able to clean up and feel refreshed, and then be ready for the crowd and interacting with people. And
oh my
doing
gosh,
dirty
I took the 6-year-old as we were leaving. I was like, "Do you need to go to the bathroom?" He's like, "Yeah," and he's doing his thing, and then he just looks down and he goes, "Mom, why is there this like little bottle in the toilet?" So I'm like, do I really have to explain right now to my kid of how people sneak in shooters?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, because people suck and they put garbage in there, buddy. Just finish up. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are too young for the white trash tales.
Like all the things that they find in a porta john at the end of one of the big fairs. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was a good one for the Pima County Fair.
Yeah.
It seemed like everyone was happy, and it was great to have those kind of festivities. And if you came out and you celebrated with us and said hi, or even if you didn't say hi, we thank you for coming out.
Shout out to Hadley. He came right up. He's like, I know you guys, and I just started following you. And I'm like, you have a girl's name.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And then Gabriel's a father of one of our promo kids who's my age, actually. And I was like, what'd you do? You just bang him out in high school? And he's like, yeah.
Got that out of the way.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then so it's weird because both Centurions and at the fair, all you smell everywhere you go is weed. Right. And that used to be a thing where back in the day you would smell weed and like, oh, somebody's smoking. But now it's flipped. It's reversed where you're walking around and you smell weed everywhere you go. And then whenever you like go into a pocket of fresh air, you go, wait a second. Nobody's smoking right now.
Right. You're like, oh my God, clean air. What is this?
Seriously. But yeah, so I smoked with Gabriel, right? And it was cool. And, I didn't finish it because I'm a lightweight and I had stuff to do. And I was like, hey, man, that's enough. And he's like, no, cool, man. It's an honor. I'm like, no, it's not. The honor's all mine, man. You're the one hooking me up. But either way, I appreciate it. Shout out Gabriel. Shout out Hadley. Shout out everybody that we bumped into at the Pima County Fair or the Centurion Party. Let's do it all again. Here's what we got on the agenda for today on this Monday. 2 opportunities to win. We talked about Incubus. Yes. Of course, Incubus is coming to the TCC on August 22nd. And we're stoked about that show. So we will be giving away tickets for Incubus all this week. But also, Motionless in White owes us one. Now, unfortunately, they're not performing in Tucson, but we got them close. We got them in Mesa, Arizona at the Mesa Amphitheater. Yes. So we will be giving away tickets for Motionless in White today as well. Nice. So 2 different opportunities to win on the program. All you got to do is listen, and we'll give you your opportunities and fill in the blanks from there. We got your morning morning coming up after Godsmack. Let's kick things off with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's Rock 102.1. Yes, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the podcast
broadcast.
We are live here. Of course, we got Mari in the bottom corner. Good morning, Mari.
Hello.
Hey, and of course, Weirdo. Good morning, Weirdo.
Yep.
And everybody, first, I'll start off with this. I like to thank everyone who reached out to me over the weekend. All the OG streamers, Anthony, Nick, they're concerned for me. And you don't need to be concerned for me. I do appreciate it. Yes, I am going through this breakup, which is more stressful than anything else. Just on packing everything up, separating and dividing things. And then finding a place that's within a region that's a reasonable price that can that my daughter can go to school in and walk to school in, for that matter, because I won't have an additional ride for her. She's taking a Lyft all this week too, which sucks too, because I'm saving up money. I just dumped a bunch of money in Mexico, and so now I got to make this deposit, and it's going to be a pain in the ass. So I'm trying to get money up. And in the meantime, I have to spend extra money while I'm doing it. But I have to get it in a region where she can go to school and also be close enough to her 2 jobs, because it's my daughter. She's a hustler and she has 2 jobs as well.
Yeah.
But on a positive note, we went and opened up a bank account for her last week. Ooh. Yeah, and the bank account or the bank people were like, you got 2 jobs and you're in high school? She's like, what the fuck? Yeah, you're a hustler, and she's accumulating a lot of money, and I'm like, that's my girl.
Right.
That's how I did it.
Girl, that's my girl. I got to borrow some of that real quick, but you will be fine.
Oh yeah, no, she's gonna be paying rent. Hopefully not. We're gonna hopefully get a decent enough area and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, I'm at the point in the tail end of the relationship, which is unfortunate because I'm old now, right? So I kind of been through the immature things, but I'm kind of still stuck in it. I don't know if there's ever going to be an age where we go through the stereotypical breakup patterns that don't turn into nasty immature attacks.
Yeah.
And that's
emotional thing.
yeah, that's where I'm at right now, where my future ex and I are both saying nasty things back and forth to each other, and in my defense, and I will say this honestly, like I'm responding back like to getting taxed. I have a certain threshold, like a point where I'm like, I could take a certain amount, and then after that, I'm like, okay, fuck you, the gloves are off.
Right.
And you want to talk shit, you want to say a bunch of things that I feel like are overly and grossly exaggerated, or maybe not even true in some scenarios, then I'm just gonna come back and just fire and hit below the belt, whatever. So it's not okay,
Right.
it's at that point though, and there's been words exchange and then apologies and then hugs and then words exchange, apologies, hugs, in that cycle. I'm in this cycle. And it just sucks because, I'm just trying to break out of the cycle and move on as quickly as possible. But we've been cohabitating for a couple of years and we made a lot of investments together. And I know people who've been through divorces have gone through way worse.
Yes.
But I'm in a situation where, like, okay, we both went in on a mattress together and I have my king size frame, right? And my daughter's been sleeping on her queen size frame and queen size bed. Now, she says she doesn't want to sleep on the bed that my daughter slept on, right? Because all of a sudden that's gross.
Mm.
And so since she paid half, she believes that she should be keeping the bed with my bed frame. And I'm like,
well, then she needs to pay you out.
right.
She needs to buy you out. Like
And she said, if I'm going to take the bed, then I need to pay her $500. Right. And I'm just like, well, okay, this is my frame as well. Like, maybe I'll just take the frame and then, and you could pay me $500 to sleep on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what to do in this situation, but I said there is no scenario where I'm leaving with 0 beds.
Yeah.
Because, at the very least, I need my daughter to have a bed, and I'll sleep on the floor or the couch until I could, get my own shit. But, priorities is I got to make sure she's situated.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you are keeping your daughter in mind first, which is fantastic. Which,
I always do, but
right.
not
There was
according
no
to her.
doubt. There's no doubt that you wouldn't have done that to begin with. But yeah, these are always hard. And especially being in like you said, that cycle of like talking shit. Then we apologize. Maybe I didn't really mean it, but like when everything's so emotional and you're frustrated.
I know. Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We have to actually hit the reset on our conversation that we're talking on the podcast, and we'll get back into it because I'm just spilling tea at this point. And I like how you're just listening intently, Mari. I know. And that's very good because my future ex and everything. You don't want to get involved, and I get that. But let me get right into a TMI top 5. You could talk about headlines, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, here's our first headline of the day. Students at Stanford University are working on AI-powered glasses that act like a personal teleprompter to help you chit-chat.
Okay.
Yeah, did you hear about this before? Did I tell you about this?
Mm-mm.
So they listen to what people say and use ChatGPT to come up with things to say back. And they say it could be useful for like job interviews or even dates.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but what's the delay gonna be? So what's your favorite
it's so
color?
quick. It's quick.
Yeah, it's going to be
Blue.
quick.
It's fast.
The delay is based off of how quickly you can read. It's like a teleprompter, right?
Mm.
And
Okay.
I think it's really stupid that they're using it for this purpose and not for like translating different languages.
that would be
Languages.
dope.
Yes. Yeah, like I would wear AI glasses and go down to Mexico and then speak with all the locals all day long and know what they're saying.
Yep.
Right. But for dating, if you can't come up with your own site, and imagine how many nerds who don't know how to speak to a woman are going to get laid because of this. And actually saying this out loud, I'm all for these glasses now. Because honestly, like, there's a lot of guys out there that just need to have sex. And we have this kind of incel culture that's breeding right now.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. And I was going to say this a little bit later, but the pandemic has had a big impact on teens having sex. COVID-19 really got in the way of a lot of teenagers' sexual activity. And every year, the CDC conducts anonymous surveys on risky youth behavior, including smoking, drinking, having sex, and carrying guns, because apparently the CDC are a bunch of perverts. More than 17,000 students participated in this, 100 public and private high schools. Now, 30 years ago, more than half of teens said they had sex. By 2019, that dropped to 38%. And in 2021, in the wake of the pandemic, just 30% of teens said they ever had sex. Now, if you're out there listening and be like, hey, that's a good thing, right? It's actually probably not. That's the sharpest drop ever recorded by the survey. And there are also significant declines in students who say they are currently having sex or had at least 4 sexual partners. The reason why it's bad that teenagers aren't having sex is because it almost gets to a point of a resentment of the opposite sex amongst young men.
You think?
Yes, and this is the problem with the incel culture. Now, there's incel culture is men who are frustrated because of the lack of intimacy or lack of options they're able to get. And then they take that resentment out on the opposite sex. And the way that they show this is through misogyny or other acts of violence.
Right.
I'll give you an example off the top of my head of incel behavior and culture going to an extreme. We had obviously mass shootings all the time. A lot of those kids end up just being frustrated young men in their 20s who can't get laid and can't feel that love. So then they got to shut off from the rest of the world. And then they take out their anger and rage on strangers in the rest of the world. This happened in Phoenix not too long ago. A few years ago up in the Westgate area, a guy took an AR-15 and went randomly shooting at women, right? And he unfortunately killed a bunch of people. A lot of people already forgot about this. This happened in our own backyard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he was 100% just an incel. And there was even video where one woman who was shot, she's like, why? And he was saying it's because of you.
All right, and I believe it's the same thing for the New Zealand shooter at the synagogue. Yeah.
No, it happens time and time again. It's a big breeding culture on the internet, unfortunately. And it really comes down to just guys with the inability to connect to the opposite sex. And then that disconnect, again, remember, we're all programmed to procreate.
Yes.
We are viruses. We are a mold on this planet. We have one purpose, scientifically speaking, evolutionarily speaking, and which is not necessarily a word, but I'm using it, is to breed, conceive and breed and spread and grow and survive.
Yes.
And when you take that out, then there's something in the brain that triggers a man. I know.
The whole time I'm sitting here being like, okay, it dropped down to 30% of teens having sex. I was a teen mom. So I was like, well, then teen pregnancy rates are going down. So that's good. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's a balance.
Yeah. And there's a strong argument for that too. And nobody, no parent of a teenager wants their kids to have a kid.
Oh, yeah. No, I've already issued the warning. I'm like, if you make me a grandmother in my 30s,
right,
nobody will be able to find you.
Yeah.
So I have turned into my own parents' crap.
Yeah, I get it. But there is a way, to be able to, and I say late teens, 17 and a half, 18, 19. Those are still teenagers.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Especially if you've been held back a year and you're like 18 and you're not having sex, man, then you're doing something wrong because being dumb and is actually a turn on to most high school girls. All right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But do you think some words will really help them get in the pants of someone else?
Yes. If ChatGPT, first off, women, they are, you're intrigued and your turn-ons are mostly intellectual, right?
True.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously physical as well. If a guy's hot, you're going to be into it, but they could also sweet talk their way into your pants.
It'd be funny,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I mean, hell, I would be sitting here today, a 43-year-old virgin, if I didn't have the gift of gab, right? I couldn't just go off of this alone.
Yeah.
So
true.
You didn't have to agree so quickly.
I'm just proud of you for acknowledging it.
It's been tough. I mean, honestly, recently it's been very easy because it's being pointed out to me almost daily. So, all right, let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. We got more headlines for you, plus games we're going to play and so much more. YouTube.com/BeefVegan or keep it here because my single song takeover is coming up next. Beef Vegan Presents. Clear. All right. So, yeah, I think that is a serious issue. With
facial hair, though. Facial hair works in your favor.
Thank you, Mari.
You have nice teeth.
Thank you.
You have a nice nose.
I mean, you did show me a photo after you shaved your beard for something on the Schmonty show, and it was just barely grown back. And I was like, you need a beard.
Yeah, that was my incel period for sure.
You know what though? I will say this. I was never a woman that was like, oh my God, I need the beard and the Viking and like all that other stuff. But now that I compare photos of my boyfriend being clean shaved to the beard, I'm like,
Oh yeah, I love
yeah,
the facial hair.
I prefer the beard. And
Love
he
facial
doesn't grow it very long, right? Like we do like
Yeah.
the 10-day non-shave to like the 3-week. We keep it
Right.
very manicured. But and he is somebody that can pull off a lot of things. But now I'm like looking back at clean shave photos. I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
facial
thank you.
hair is real nice.
The beard does do a lot for, in fact, actually, I've been doing radio since 2009, right? And I've noticed like trends working in my favor since then. Like when they're like, hey, women prefer beards. I'm like, oh, it's awesome. I get a beard. And like, women prefer dad bods. I'm like, fuck yeah, 2 for 2. Like these kind of things
I
kept,
like dad bods. Too.
yeah, kept happening. And then, I'm like, all right, I'm falling into favor, which is good. I'm not too concerned about being single. In fact, actually, there are a lot of people excited about it internally within the building. My Mac and the consultant were talking about it because I told them, I was like, hey, I might have to move in like a drop of a hat. I don't know. I might have to take a couple days off. I know I've just been taking a couple days off, but depending on what the scenario is, and they've been completely understanding and supportive, which is nice. And Mac was talking to Murphy, my consultant, about it. And they're just like, oh, yeah, that sucks. And then Murphy, my consultant, goes, but a single beef on the show is actually a pretty good beef. And I actually said this on the air. I was like, I've done a disservice to you guys. Like, because I've been in a relationship this entire time I've had this show.
The single beef unleashed.
That's what I'm saying.
Whoa.
Yeah,
it's a better show.
That was a show open the other day. And I'm just standing there being like, so sorry, buddy. So sorry. Like I had nothing to add. I was like, nah, you just got to get it out.
I'll tell you why me being single is better for this show. There's a couple reasons. One is just more life experience. I get out there and I put myself in awkward situations a little bit more. I'm interacting with different people. I'm getting different perspectives and that's very fun. And I really enjoy that aspect of dating. I really do enjoy dating just for the fact of like sitting down and conversating and getting to know someone's story. Yeah. Is all fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to go on Tinder?
Oh yeah, I'll be on
Bumble?
all the yeah.
No,
well, Bumble's where I met the last one.
So maybe it's not.
I don't mind. No, I don't mind all of them. Again, it's just really getting to know people. And then if things work out, then like sex when you first meet somebody is the best. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But secondly, I get more rest because I get to sleep whenever the fuck I want, and I get more time to be creative and write because I'm not being like obligated to do all these honeydew shits all the time, right? So those are some of the benefits of me, and I do definitely dedicate my life to this because this is one of the highlights of what I do. I enjoy it. When I have a good show, I have a good day. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So
if you thought things were good the last year, they really weren't. Stay tuned. It's going to be amazing.
It will get better. I do think and believe it will get better. And, sometimes I'll even throw myself under the bus and preemptively ruin potential relationships based off being too honest at the very beginning of everything.
You're like, you don't understand, people. I'm willing to sacrifice future relationships for you.
I sacrifice everything. Well, my mom and my sister were down here this weekend, and this is kind of sad because my sisters, my mom, they're both single, and then they basically they call it the Furman curse, basically. So they're just like they're not surprised that we're breaking up. Be like, hey, sorry, man, you're just not lovable, and I'm just like, well, that's
not true.
Yeah, it's like that's not the case, and I believe that, but for whatever reason, it just.
It's to your core.
Yeah, it hurts. It does hurt where you're just like, is that true in a way? But I know it's not true. The fact is,
no, not at all.
What it is for both of us, or all of us, I should say. I guess there's a lot of factors, but in my situation, I was working towards a goal of being able to be that guy. Yeah. And then, pandemic happened and I got comfortable in the relationships I had. But, honestly, things were looking good. But then a year into it, it started becoming a reality that this wasn't that case. And then I kind of lost motivation to be that guy. And then eventually, since I wasn't becoming that guy, the guy that she was hoping I would become, then she kind of lost favor. And Now I'm talking about. I'm sharing too much. Let's do this. Let's reset hard. Yeah, and share this today's morning moron. We'll be back with the single song takeover and more right after. It's Beefy presents. All right, we are going to give away those Incubus tickets at 7:20 to 30. In that range.
Okay.
So in the 7 o'clock hour, your chance to win tickets for Incubus. In the 8 o'clock hour, we'll give you an opportunity to win tickets for Motionless in White. So there's our schedule for today. We are good to go. It's now 6:16 and time for your morning moron. Let's do this. All right. What's the difference between Arizona and Florida? Not much, to be honest with you.
Well, we're drier here.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But when it comes to morning morons, we have aplenty all over the place. And our morning moron today is from Phoenix, Arizona. All right. Now, there's good reasons for a 5-year-old to throw a tantrum, but not an adult. And a 19-year-old is technically an adult. And there was a 19-year-old woman who was arrested at the Phoenix airport on Tuesday for attacking 3 TSA agents.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Now, why'd she do it? Because they wouldn't let her keep her apple juice.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, again, a toddler would react this way. Now, the apple juice, if it was spiked, then maybe you should, throw a little tantrum or just chug it and move on.
Right.
But yeah, Micaiah did not think it was reasonable for her apple juice to be taken away as she was going through security around 6 a.m. And she freaked out because of it. She walked around a barrier. She grabbed a bin with all her stuff in it, right?
Mhm.
And then they wouldn't let her in. So she jumped on the table, hit a TSA agent in the head, and then ripped his shirt. She went ham, basically.
Oh, please say there's a video.
There, you know what? There is video, but I don't have the video. I do have a mugshot that I'll show you in the podcast broadcast. Micaiah smiling in her mugshot as she's being arrested. So looking like a true blue morning moron. But with that, they tried to restrain her, and then that's when she punched a female TSA agent and yanked her ponytail. Then she bit a third agent who tried to stop her. So biting was involved. I mean, she hit like all the bingo cards of a morning moron, all the little slots.
Yeah. Check every box.
Now, 2 agents ended up in the hospital because of this, and 450 passengers were inconvenienced. Everyone had to go to a different checkpoint and line up all over again
Jeez.
because she went mental. Now, smiling in her mugshot is very short-sighted because now she's facing charges for assault, criminal damage, disorderly conduct, and might be looking at fines too. And you could get hit up with up to $14,000 in fines for abusing a TSA agent.
All over apple juice.
Yeah, and that's abusing a single TSA agent. So they could triple that and say you now owe, let's see, 28 and then 30, $42,000. Boom.
Not worth it.
Not worth it for apple juice?
Apple juice.
Yeah, so.
You could buy another one, right?
Right. In fact, actually, if you're flying, they'll probably give that first one for free.
Right.
And in jail, they don't serve apple juice. I know this for a fact. So for all these reasons, Micaiah in Phoenix, not our Florida man, is definitely today's morning moron. All right, we're back here live. Yeah, I see you, Powers. Shout out. So Powers, at the Centurion party so we went to the Centurion party, and you could have actually blended in with your shirt right there because even though it's a modern rock shirt, it still kind of has an 80s vibe to it.
It does.
So the Centurion party this year was all 80s vibe. It was like Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Neons.
Yeah, Powers misread it. And it was basically like dress like you were in high school is what he thought. So he showed up dressed in 90s, straight up with the gangster Bugs Bunny shirt and the baggy jeans, the boot.
He just
Jinko
missed it by a decade.
And I was like, oh, you're kind of sticking out, man.
Wait, what'd you wear?
Well, actually, I was technically working.
So you couldn't wear anything?
Well, first off, I don't have 80s apparel. I don't do that. But yeah, no, I had a button up and a deep V. Powers is making fun of me for this. So I had like black jeans and boots on. I was looking kind of sexy. My backwards hat, because it was on brand. I told my mom, I'm like, I'm gonna be there as beef vegan, okay? So I'm wearing my hat.
Wait, did they go? Your mom?
She supplied the casino for it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a huge party for her.
Huge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So about 40 tables, about 50 dealers, and it's a big deal.
With it.
Yeah,
Cool.
and I was down there in the VIP pit, just kind of overseeing, dealing a little bit, and make sure these volunteers didn't give away the house, which they did, because they don't listen to rules. Because I was explaining to Powers that middle-aged white guys who own a boat don't play by other people's rules. They're just like, hey, I don't need to listen to you. I own a fucking boat. And I'm like, oh, my bad. So I had a button up, like a dress shirt, and then I kept a couple buttons, not a couple. I wasn't down here, but I didn't want to like button up too tight,
Right?
Because I was
You
at a
want to
party.
be a little bit relaxed, but also a little formal.
It might have been a little too much because again, Powers was ragging on me because he thought that V ran very deep, and it did.
But like nipple deep?
No, not nipple deep, just
Yeah.
above the nipples. I showed a little bit of cleavage, but not too much.
You're good.
It says I'm here to have a good time, but not with just anyone in the back of a bathroom stall or anything like that. Speaking of which, here's another observation. So on Friday, I went to the fair. I think he just sent me a picture of the deep V. Yeah, he did.
Oh, I'm like going to his Facebook to see if he had posted any.
Mac did. I'll pull it up. It wasn't that bad, and I wasn't that good looking as I thought. But in my head, dude, I was like Fabio.
I mean, boots.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, the boots were cool. I was fucking shout out to Rico. I was basically dressing like him. So with here, I got it right here. I'll pull this up.
That's not that bad.
I know. Well,
well, the picture, Mac does not know how to take a selfie.
he does not. It's fantastic. I had to teach him how to do that.
Yeah, that's not bad. Looking good.
Yeah, I was looking pretty good. I was
that
feeling
is
good.
not a deep V. That's like a polo guy playing golf kind of V.
Kind of, but I was trying to be hip with it. I mean, obviously, I still got my sunglasses on at night, rolled up my sleeves, but yeah, I was looking okay. Got some compliments. Apparently, there was a couple of my exes there as well. I saw on social media. Didn't run into them in person, which is probably good. But back to my my fair story. So, we're at the Dirty Heads, and the Dirty Heads are performing on the Budweiser stage. And I'm Mr. Don't give a fuck about outrage. I don't buy into the hype, and and I don't honestly get a lot of the cancel culture outrage bullshit, right? So the Dylan stuff, or Dylan is yes. Yeah, and Budweiser paid them to be a spokesperson just on their own Instagram page. That's another thing too, because social media influencer, so 10 million followers. It's just like an investment. That's what big companies are doing now. They're finding those influencers. They're spending money. And Dylan had a situation where in a week had two major accounts, had Budweiser and Nike. And my big takeaway from this was like, who the fuck is their manager? Because that is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, again, major like global company, they want to try to advertise all different sections and reach as many people as possible. So again, I get it. It doesn't offend me. So I grabbed a Bud Light because I'm going to be on Bud Light stage. Yeah. So I went to go drink a Bud Light because I'm like, fuck it. It's almost punk rock. It's like, if you're going to all these country guys, like, I ain't drinking no Bud Light. Well, I'm punk rock. I'm going to drink some fucking Bud Light.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. And yeah, I don't even like the taste of this shit. This tastes horrible. But just because I'm Captain Fuck You and I'm punk rock, I'm going to drink it just because you tell me I shouldn't. You tell me that's the quickest way for me to do something. Tell me don't do it, and I'm fucking doing it.
Yeah, that sounds about right for you.
Yeah, but I quickly switched to like tequila because Bud Light tastes like shit. But in my little reel that I made, there's only one quick little shot of me holding a Bud Light, and I'm kind of holding it down and not even label out. You could barely even see it.
Right.
And someone still commented about it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So on the Instagram, someone wrote, and again, it's just buying into the outrage, and I'm not a fan of that. And just like, I get it. I get what you're saying, but like he said, be careful with that Bud Light. It'll sneak up on you. Right. And I feel like it was a reference to the boycott. And I'm like, that's crazy. No, it's not sneaking up. I mean, I drank it. Yeah, I jerked off 3 guys in a parking lot, but that was not Bud Light related,
Oh, is that the concern now that Bud Light's going to turn you gay? God.
There was one funny video of a guy like saying a proper way to drink Bud Light, and he deep throated it. And I was like, yeah, that's a good way.
Wait, he actually put the whole thing in his throat?
He did.
Wow.
Yeah, down to the balls of the beer. Rick said Kid Rock will kick my ass.
Though? He like shoots up a whole bunch of.
Yeah,
Sunlight.
and that's a start. And a couple other prominent country artists did the same.
Right.
But
Right, because it was also with the debate of the drag queen boycott in
We're gearing
Tennessee.
up for that 2024.
Right. So now, like the country community, like now there's definitely a huge divide because there's a lot more liberal people, like liberal country artists, and they realize like a lot of people were really surprised with Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. They're very liberal. Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me at all because they've been in Hollywood for a long time and they're both acting and stuff. So for sure, they want acting gigs. We're just talking. We're back here live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Welcome back on the show.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard the phrase Swedish death cleaning?
No.
Yes,
You have.
I have.
All right. What is Swedish death cleaning?
So Swedish death cleaning is having a conversation with your parents or your grandparents and explaining like, hey, we love you, but we don't want to deal with your crap when you die. So please start giving this stuff away or mitigating who it's going to now. So it's a bit more of a relief once you are gone on the rest of the family. And I started doing it and I'm in my 30s. Like we got rid of a lot of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, despite its name, it's not meant to be morbid,
Right.
but it is growing in popularity ever since a book was released in 2017 talking about it. Is coined by Swedish artist Margareta Magnusson. And Swedish death cleaning is the idea of cleaning out your belongings so others don't have to deal with it after you die.
Yeah.
And it's becoming so popular that there's actually going to be a new Peacock show promoting it. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess that's true. I mean, first off, a lot of people as they get older, a lot of people have grandparents that are semi hoarders.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know my mom definitely has hoarded a lot of stuff, and I want her to live forever, obviously, but at the same time, it's strictly because I don't want to deal with all the crap.
Well, yeah, because that's part of the philosophy, right? Like when somebody passes, like that's what you're focusing on is celebrating their life, and you have to arrange funerals and final costs and all these things, and then to deal with literally, I don't understand people who retire and get bigger houses. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I don't get it. Just to again accumulate stuff.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So to sit there and then also deal with a 3, 4, 5 bedroom house just filled with trinkets, and you just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Did your mom collect stuff, Mari? Did she?
My dad does.
Your dad does.
He's
So
got newspapers. I mean, I have the hoarding bug. Like, I want to know, like, what do you do with like preschool stuff, right? Like preschool drawings. Like,
you throw it away.
You recycle it.
why?
First off, you pick one
Yeah.
that you think is the next Pablo Picasso. You throw the rest away. You frame that one, or
Make a scrapbook.
you can
Oh,
take a bunch of
God.
pictures of it digitally.
Yes.
Digital hoarding is a thing though
I
too.
have digital hoards hardcore. Like,
Yeah.
my thing is so
I'm
full.
bad about that right now. Like I'm trying to go through everything because again, you take 16 pictures of
At
one
once.
thing and only one photo is good, but you don't delete the other
Don't delete
15.
anything.
But yeah, no, I suggest a scrapbook because that was, I have guess what? I have a 19-year-old who has no desire to see anything from kindergarten. So good thing I didn't hold on to it. So as
sentimental.
an advice, as some parental advice, like your kids really don't care. They
don't.
They do not care. You
they
care.
don't.
So make a scrapbook. So make a scrapbook and like
Yeah.
you just save one thing. Because God knows kindergarten sends so many friggin' things home.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And your kids don't care. They only care about trucks right now. You
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't even keep all their trucks.
We went to our first movie yesterday, so I want to keep the ticket, right?
No,
Like,
No, stop.
That's
Stop.
it accumulates so fast
I
there,
know.
Mark.
I have a whole
Mhm.
bin of just paper stuff.
And how old are they?
yeah.
3? Yeah.
It's
No,
gonna grow.
my husband's mom like went through her attic when she moved out, and there was boxes of just all of his and his sister's schoolwork, and they were like,
yes.
"Mom,
No, my dad gave me boxes. He took his boxes and gave them to me of my stuff from when I was in kindergarten, right?
Yep.
He's like, here, you take it. Now you do stuff with it.
and
No.
what did you do with it?"
Right.
It's in my storage.
Oh my
No,
God.
I know, but did you go through it? And did you realize it was mostly trash?
It's all trash. Like,
Right.
yeah,
So
but
just throw it away.
I need to.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the whole reason for this Swedish death cleaning. It's really just encouraging you to throw this junk away because you don't need it. It's not any historical landmarks. Nobody here is
No.
Cleopatra.
Mhm.
Nobody's gonna care in 1,000 years, if not 15. That's
Oh.
morbid, I know, but at the same time, unless it has actual value that you could flip on eBay.
Okay, birthday cards though.
No.
Like,
No.
You know how many birthdays they're gonna have?
no, but,
Hopefully.
like Kenzo and I have like made birthday cards, right? Like, so I have ones from like a decade ago that I'm like, oh, look at where we were 10 years ago. You know?
Mm.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah.
I do some of that too, where I hold like little trinkets and things like that. But
Yeah.
again, it's limiting myself of like, I don't need every little note exchanged or anything like that. You know, maybe save the one for like anniversaries or things
Yeah.
like that. But otherwise,
Be selective.
Yeah.
yes.
No, see, I'm a big fan of just like, moving
gone.
on, deleting it and stuff.
Trash
I mean,
trash.
even I had a habit of hoarding sex tapes for a minute, but I even deleted those. I'm just like, I don't need it.
Wait, like DIY ones?
Yeah.
Little amateur ones.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, a little memory lane, but I'm like, you know what? Locked in my brain. I'm good to go. All right, rock on to. I was just kidding. So if you're watching on the internet, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But
But
there's
no,
like an old girlfriend like, what?
that's a debate in our house right now because like we have decided we are staying in our 1,100 square foot house for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
Because the market is insane, even with 3 incomes. Like it's just going to be impossible. So that's where we're at now. Like, okay, these things we were kind of holding on to when we got into the bigger space. It's not happening. So now there's this like, for me, it's really hard because I have a lot of oddities and bones and skulls and all of that.
Decapitated bat. This bat that fell onto the ground. It became decapitated. I kept the bat body. And I called him Ozzy because I'm like, well, I can still keep him
Of
around,
course,
right?
of
Like,
course.
yeah, he's got no head, but like, I can still
But
keep
yeah,
him.
so that's where the debate is in our house. Because yeah, me and my husband have a big tote of like greeting cards because his mom sends cards every month, it seems like. And I was like thinking, oh yeah, I could eventually maybe do something artistic with this. But in this last couple weeks, I'm like, can we just get rid of it? Like let's just be done with it.
Yeah,
It's
those
not
cards, yeah.
easy.
No,
It's not easy, but yeah,
You
but
know
it's
it.
freeing. Once you do it, it's freeing because now you don't have to think about it anymore. You literally feel lighter. Do you pay
Yeah.
for storage or is it stored at your house?
No, just at our house. Our house is dinky. It's literally tiny. So we have too much stuff
Mm.
and we need to get rid of stuff. So I just got rid of a bunch of like bath products, right? That like I haven't used in a year that I
Uh-huh.
was hoarding on.
That's good.
Right.
And I need to get rid of toys. Toys are gigantic. We just have an accumulation of toys.
Right.
Some
Mhm.
are broken even, and we still have them. Coda will like find them and be like, I want this. And like,
No.
it's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't know either. So you
Right.
just drop that
Well, I
off.
don't think he will, right?
Yeah,
Right.
no,
He doesn't
definitely not.
remember stuff,
Right.
though.
Also, if you look at a box and you're like, I don't remember what's in there, do not open it. Just get rid of it. I'm not kidding. That was something that like I had to do. There would be like a couple boxes, like when I closed down my salon, we put it in storage. I was like, I don't even remember what's in here. Like barely checked just to make sure there wasn't again those oddities, antiques or whatever that I could sell. And then I close it back up and I'm like,
Painful.
go put it. It's going to Goodwill.
Yeah.
Let somebody else
Power
deal with
said,
it.
I'm going to take this as a sign and start cleaning today. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, go to
Bookman's.
Bookman's, get that money, and a lot of his stuff is collectible. In fact,
Right.
you could actually throw in that Bugs Bunny gangster shirt. With
Yeah, that's what we do. We go to Bookman's. Like we have like $400 or $500 in trade in. Guess what that turns
Yeah.
into? Gifts.
Mhm.
Gifts.
Like seriously, like
Yeah.
that helps so much with the budget and everything. Because yeah, we just get rid of books.
Right.
Oh, and then
I'm
you
a
know
book hoarder, too.
my I'm gonna reveal it now. My husband is a teacher and he's leaving the industry, and he's got to clear out his classroom.
Mhm.
Because yeah, again, we had our Harry Potter collectible stuff that eventually went there and everything else. And he's like, what do I need to keep? I was like, literally, if it's a picture of me and you or the kids, keep the rest, be
Oh.
done. Be done. There will be another teacher out there that will want to take that stuff or go to Goodwill or whatever, but like, let's be done.
Yes.
So,
All right, well, let's hit the
anyway.
reset on that. Oh yeah, we got more coming up right after this. F My Life.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another edition of F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beefvegan@kfma.com, subject line FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, you can give us a call right now, 600-KFMA. That's 600-5362. And Weirdo and I will weigh in on your F My Life situation. Here's our first F My Life email, Weirdo.
okay.
Sent to me by Denise. She said, the other day I asked my husband why his socks are always inside out in the laundry basket. He replied, so the insides get clean. That's it. And so F My Life. So Denise is basically with
Married
a big
an
dummy.
idiot?
Yeah. I'm sure that idiot works hard and puts it down. But is that F My Life for Denise?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it all get, oh God, dummy.
I get it. It's a very male thing to think that it will help
get the insides cleaner by
Mhm.
turning it inside out. I get it. And it's not true. You could definitely wash your socks inside out or not. And they all get soaked in soap and water, whatever. But yeah, okay, I'll agree with you. F my life. Denise, you married a Kelso. All right, next up, my life email sent to me by Greg. He said, this weekend I went to a barbecue and the night was going well until I had to wrestle car keys away from my intoxicated mother in front of all my friends.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
been there.
Get your mom some help.
Right. Well, I mean, who knows if it's like an everyday thing or every now and then she likes to go YOLO. But is that enough, my life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
True. Yeah, all the way around. For sure. Sorry, Greg. All right, next email sent to me by Amy. She said, my boyfriend and I were playing around, and he threw me over his shoulder and turned around, smacking my face against the wall. He then smacked my head into the fridge after turning around to see what that loud bang was.
Oh, my God.
It's amazing.
Yes, now you have a concussion. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. Is that enough, my life for Amy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
sounds
just
fun, though.
insult to injury.
Yeah, I'm sure you were laughing in pain. So that's good. All right, 2 more left. Matt sent me this email, beefvegan@kfma.com. He said, yesterday I discovered a nail in my tire of my car and a nice sized crack on the screen of my phone. I didn't think the day could get worse until I went to go on my way to go fix my tire. The cherry of my cigarette fell off and burned a huge hole in my driver's seat. This is my day off.
It's a horrible day off.
Right? F my life.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just one of those bad days, man, where nothing can go right. So I feel your pain, Matt. Definitely F my life. And final F my life for the day, sent to me by Carly. This one's just heartbreaking. Today, my boyfriend of 4 years, who I love with every fiber of my body, just told me he's not attracted to me, not in any way, shape, or form.
Oh.
Should I hit the trombone for Carly?
Yes.
All right, I'll hit the trombone for Carly. Here you go. Oh, it won't work? Oh, there it is. I feel your pain. I'm currently going through a breakup too. And I'll tell you what, you sometimes lose lust in a relationship and stuff. But guess what? There's a ton of thirsty dudes in Tucson who will think that you're attractive, Carly. So just jump on the apps and swipe away. You are listening for Motionless in White's Werewolf. When you hear that song, new drinking game. Whenever I mention him going through a breakup, take a shot. You're going to be fucking blackout before 9 a.m. Yeah.
You're going to be in the ER.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hit the reset mentally on that, too.
Manny, you are not allowed to play this game.
What game?
The drinking game.
Oh, yeah. No, Manny get drunk. He get hold his own, But yeah, it seems to be a running theme. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe I won't talk about it tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's fresh. Very fresh.
Yeah, it just depends. I will say the positive spin is, starting anew and getting into a place. So I'm looking at these places that I potentially move into. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I remember what it felt like when I was down here first, going from apartment to apartment. And that feeling of getting rid of the old shit, right? And just kind of like, that's one way to throw it away. Get rid of excess waste is moving, right? And my daughter's looking forward to that too, just getting rid of shit that she doesn't need anymore, and then just bringing the stuff that we need and kind of starting fresh. So that's one of the positives. We'll see.
There's lots of positives from it. You guys probably both grew. Like Riley's in a good spot. Like
I'll tell you one negative that I'm afraid of, because I've had my girlfriend wake me up when I'm sleeping on my good ear too often, right? Because I can't hear my alarm clock because I have a bad ear, right? Yeah, which sucks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been going deaf in this ear for quite some time. And I'm, I never go to a doctor to look at these things, so I just deal with it. I'm sure it'll work out fine in the long run. Am I right? Yeah. But so now I'm going to have to set up 2 different alarms, an alarm to wake me up and a secondary alarm to be like, get the fuck up, stupid. So we'll see what happens. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Hanging out here on the podcast broadcast is Weirdo and Mari. As always, you can join us. Don't forget to subscribe while you're at it. But since I have them both in studio, I want to play a game.
let's do it.
All right, let's do a round of the last word between Weirdo and Mari. All right, so we'll do actually best of 3.
Okay.
And I have a particular themes that I'm just trying to get as much information as I can from you.
Okay.
In the quickest way possible. So we're going to do a last word style. So we'll start off with Weirdo in round 1.
Okay.
Name something you would consider a red flag on a dating app and go.
If he likes golf.
Okay.
Sandals.
Sandals, yeah.
Those bad teeth.
Oh, yes.
A deep V-neck.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Oh, what's that? Wearing Meta Militia stuff.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
A forehead tattoo.
Okay, yes.
Forehead tattoo. Bad haircut.
Okay.
Nose hair.
Oh, damn, okay.
Okay, poor hygiene. Yeah, I don't know.
There we go. And I'm keeping score, so only 2 of those are personal red flags for me.
Heart's racing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what red flag about any of my exes am I about to reveal?
Yeah, you should reveal them all. I was told just yesterday that, I'm not I'm only going balder. I'm like, yeah, that happens with age.
Right. Right. It doesn't magically grow back.
Right. Yeah. All right. So that's round 1 to Mari. All right. Round 2. Starting off with Mari.
Okay.
Name a place a woman may feel comfortable for a guy to hit on her in public and go.
A bar.
All right, a bar.
Nowhere. Please don't come up and hit on me.
No, you gotta give me a scenario.
Bar, a restaurant.
Okay, restaurant.
The bookstore.
The bookstore is a good place. Yeah.
The DMV.
Okay. Yeah, stand in the line.
Grocery store.
Grocery store for sure.
The bank.
Okay, the bank. Yeah.
The doctors.
The doctors. Oh yeah, you got herpes too. Cool.
In the park.
Oh, in the park.
The
Okay,
dentist.
yeah. The dentist. Okay, yeah.
Not gonna get it again.
I'm not learning anything from you, weirdo. Round 2 goes to Mari.
You're collecting places for yourself.
I am. Yeah. I'm just trying to get that mental reset. As I get back out there, what do I do? I don't know. It's been a while. I don't know. A little rusty. So yeah, all those places.
Smart.
Yeah, a lot of those places that I don't go to, but I got to start visiting, like the dentist and the doctor.
That was a terrible question for me because I'm like, no, don't talk to me at all. Like, I hate humans.
Oh yeah, but that's nonsense. I'm sure you, along your lifetime, have inadvertently had sparks and met someone that led to dating outside of the app world, right? In real life. So if you think about it,
roller derby. Well, I guess roller
Concerts.
derby, yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
if I was a lesbian, for sure, All right, we're gonna hit the reset, keeping the conversation moving. YouTube.com/beefvegan. Be back with your beef tip after these words. Clear.
Oh, how time flies.
I know.
I know it does fly by pretty quickly, and I'm still coughing. Honestly, I don't know if I accidentally had COVID for a week since I came back from Mexico, but mildly enough. I know I had a headache and I had this cough. I'm like, did we just all have COVID? And
I mean, there's so many bloody mutations and variants now. Like, even now, the test,
No.
the at-home tests, they're like, no, don't even bother taking them anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't detect it.
right, yeah, that was the thing. I was just I was going to take a test, but then my roommate was like, hey, those are expired. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just deal with it. It felt kind of shitty, but okay. But you've been coughing. I've been coughing.
No, it's from drinking my tea.
Do you think I gave it to you?
Yeah, possibly. Mari felt really bad because I had to take a day
It
off
was
right
such
before
a big week for
420.
you too, with 420 and Mexico, and I was like, oh my god.
Well, luckily I had a lot of time to rest by myself in Mexico, so that was good.
Mhm.
You recovered well.
Yeah, it's a very brave thing to do when you're at a resort and you're like, I'm gonna go down and make friends by myself.
You
What
made
do
some
you
friends?
do? Yeah, I made some friends. It helps when you have party favors and stuff. And then you're willing to buy shots and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So you did all that, but yeah, it was one of those things. I was just like, oh, girlfriend's up in the room. She got Montezuma's revenge. You know how it is. So she can't come and hang out at the pool with the rest of us couples. Am I right? Am I right? You're a couple. You're a couple. Oh, everyone's a couple here. Oh, trust me, I'm not weird. My girlfriend's just shitting her balls off up in the room. It's cool. It's cool.
I
So
can see you doing that too.
yeah. But I did make some friends, we saw some games and stuff. So it wasn't a complete waste, just a lot of money for nothing. But still, you make the best of it. Sometimes,
Break.
yeah. And I would suggest this to anyone, to go on personal vacations, solo adventure
Mhm.
vacations.
Yeah.
Because there's an anxiety there, that's a nervous energy that actually turns into some fun once you can just get enough
Get past it.
willpower to step outside the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I fantasize about just randomly just being like, you know what? I'm going to San Diego this week. I'm just gonna go drive 6 hours and just go be
Oh,
on the
it's a
beach by myself.
dream.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
by myself.
Well, I tried to do everything I would normally do if I was down there with my girlfriend and stuff. So, I had a nice romantic dinner by myself.
You
Yeah.
well, you
What
gotta
was it your
treat
dinner?
you right.
Yeah. I walked along the beach at
Lobster?
sunset. I held my own hand. Yeah. And that
Oh,
was,
yeah, that
Okay, Miley Cyrus.
yeah, that was nice. I banged myself against the wall in the shower. That was very nice
That
too.
was good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So all
Treat
over.
yourself.
Yeah, on the couch, in the kitchen. I was all over the place. Still got 5 stars on the review too. So obviously they looked and they're like, this is clean. They didn't
No
use
black
any
light.
black light. Yeah. So that was good. So yeah, those are just all little positives that you could do.
Yeah.
I got a little science for you. Do you know
Yeah.
why so many fast food joints have red and yellow logos?
I feel like I've heard this before. It's something to do with psychology.
100%. Yeah. The
Diet?
color red triggers stimulation, hunger, appetite, and attracts
Ooh.
attention.
Mm,
And the color yellow triggers feelings of happiness and friendliness.
Huh.
Yeah.
not me. I hate the color yellow.
Oh.
It's my least favorite color.
Well, you're triggered on many other reasons. Maybe you were finger banged by a French fry, and you've never been able to see yellow again. They are delicious, though. So a lot of people like putting malt vinegar on their French fries too. I don't know. I'm like, it can still taste good. I mean, I'm personally not a fan. When I'm at Five Guys, I leave that shit alone. But a lot of people pour it all
Malt
over.
vinegar.
Some people are vinegary. I'm just saying. Okay. When red and yellow are combined, it's about speed and quickness.
I hate
Yeah.
you so much.
I know. So it wasn't that I was just necessarily thinking you were vinegary. All right. Just saying in general. I dated a lot of dirty people. So yeah, but so that's why. See, isn't that fun information to know?
What else do you
So
got?
informative.
Well, speaking of Big Mac, or speaking of McDonald's, they're doing a bunch of upgrades to try to justify the outrageous prices that they're doing.
Mm.
So they're changing their burgers.
Yeah,
they're-
meltier cheese is what I saw.
meltier cheese is one of the things. So,
So
I'm
they're
like,
using real cheese instead of plastic?
no, they're adding more chemicals.
plastic.
Yeah.
Great.
How are you going to get meltier cheese? By science, the science alone, not necessarily dairy. So yeah, they're gonna have meltier cheese. They're gonna have softer buns, tastier onions.
Yeah.
Again, injecting them with steroids or whatever the fuck
This
they
is
do.
how we're going to
Yeah.
make it to 180. Because we're just going to be preserved corpses.
I would hope so. And I've been laughed at by this theory before by Sarah, a streamer on there, because I have this like weird theory of eating and because I look a little younger, just a little bit, but not that much.
You do.
Than my age, and I really think it's because all the preservatives that I ate growing up, and we were just fed when we were in the 80s, and when you're poor, you were literally fed this fast food diet
Mhm.
of nothing but preservatives and,
And then
shit.
the
McDonald's
TV
weekly.
dinners,
Yeah,
the frozen dinners.
right. And I think in society, a lot of us are looking younger naturally than what we looked like 50 years ago, right?
I use botulism. I go get Botox.
Well, yes, a lot of people
Botox.
do that as well. But with that, again, it's just a loose theory that has no scientific basis, but I'm standing by it until it can be disproven.
Mm.
I do think an entire generation was raised on preservatives, and maybe, just maybe, that preserves us a little bit in our
Preserves us.
cosmetics.
Preserves us and then causes cancer.
Well, that too. That's the downside. You look great, but you die.
You're going to be dead by 42. It's fine.
Mm.
Oh, wait, you made it.
Nah, yeah, I'm like, knock on fucking wood, bro. Jesus. Oh, yeah. Plastic. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. I'm seeing a lot of people on the stream. If it's your first time on the stream, make sure you drop a comment, or if you are personally involved in me in any way and just lurking, leave a comment, and that'll be great. But your camera just shit out there, Mari.
Computer died.
Your computer died. You don't have it charged.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
right.
go here.
We'll joint you.
Oh, wait. I moved my
There you
Laptop,
go.
it's this
Oh, look how
camera.
sweet that is. It's blurry,
Aw.
but that's very good. Here, I'll use this one. That's better.
Nah.
Hot. The hottest podcast on the stream.
After he
So that's
removed
good.
his picture.
I'll tell you what, I did remove my picture. Having hot friends is also a great way to meet other women and stuff. Hot friends definitely attracts hot women. I know this. I have a lot of beautiful friends. Get your microphone close to you, Mari, because you can
yes,
still
no.
talk into that.
Jeez,
Now
what is happening?
the lights are
That's
dying.
my thing.
Mm.
There we go.
We're gonna cut this song short and get right into the beef tip. So I like to thank everybody for checking out the stream as always. We're gonna have a busy week giving away tickets to Motionless and White and Incubus. And we're gonna have a tap out tomorrow, of course, and I'm just gonna be loading a bunch of stuff up. I know Save Fair's is coming to town, so I'm gonna try to get a hold of them, get them in studio, and load up some guests. And on top of that, what is on top of that? Oh, this Friday, Cinco de Mayo, we're gonna be at Catalina Brewing for a Tappy Hour podcast. So we hope all you guys can join us for Tappy Hour and hang out with us. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna be giving away a lot of shit. What's up, Eric, trash guy? All right, good. I look forward to you annoying me soon.
Yeah, and next Monday, Atreyu, I'm hosting.
Yes, that's gonna be a big
on down
deal.
to Club Encore.
Yeah, and in fact, I might have the free time. I might even come down to watch you do it. Yeah, that'd be
Great,
good.
I'm gonna have a heckler.
I will not heckle you. I only encourage. All right, let's get on the air and do our beef tip here. Let's see. All right, staying on Rock 102.1 KFMA so far away. I know what, like Aaron's going to be doing a solo show here soon at the TCC, I believe. So yeah, Aaron Lewis, I'm sure it's on the KFMA.com concert calendar. So if you want an update of what's going on and what's coming to this state and this town, you could constantly just check KFMA.com for updates. We'll keep you informed. Let's get into our beef tip before we wrap things up. Now I saw something that was startling the other day, and it was that we check our phone about 2,500 times a day.
Oh, I'm sure.
2,500?
2,500.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not 250, 2,500 times a day we are checking our phone. It's an obsession and it's ridiculous. In fact, actually, a lot of people will check their phone immediately when they wake up in the morning. Do you do this?
Yeah, I used to be bad with this, but now I try to give it 10 or 15 minutes before I have that
good.
screen in my face.
That's good.
Oh,
Well, my beef tip to you is going to give you an example of how to break that habit. Okay. So experts say you got to do these things so you don't check your phone first thing in the morning. And if you don't check your thing first in the morning, then you're only checking your phone 2,499 times, which is good. So they say use an alarm clock that isn't your phone first and foremost.
Yes.
Okay. Keep your phone in another room at night. So you don't even have it by you. You got to do that. And finally, start a different morning ritual, like meditating or writing in a journal. Me personally, I go straight to the bathroom and let the poison out. But I do it without having to read, and that's it. So that's all the time we have. Here's your beef tips. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. Stupid automatic timer.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Love you.
I will knock out all your teeth.
Babuski.